Notes, section 6.3. We are solving systems of linear equations. That should sound familiar. We solved systems of linear equations before by graphing. But then we're like, what if there's a decimal? What if there's a fraction? Do we really want to graph it every single time? So then you learn substitution. And that works because it takes out a y, puts an x in its place, or vice versa, but then you have the step by step by step by step by step problems that you have to do. But it works, you do find an answer. And the third possibility is elimination. Why would you learn a third way of solving the equations? Partly because this may be easier for some people. Maybe some really like substitution, maybe others didn't like it and they really want to learn elimination. And then when you get to more real life, real world problems, you'll see it a lot more often in Algebra 2. Sometimes the problem is set up nice and substitution becomes a lot quicker and easier. Other times substitution is a pain and there's fractions and decimals and big numbers, and elimination is more useful. So you're going to get the basics of these three of how do I actually do this, and then in Algebra 2 you're going to apply them and say, oh, here's when I'll use this, and here's when I'll use this, and this one's easier like this, and you'll have a lot more use of them in Algebra 2. But you have to have a foundation before you get there. So in looking at this problem, go ahead and set it up. Write it down. You may have already figured out, hopefully you paused it if you need more time, you may have already figured out, like, wait a second. If this is like substitution, I don't want to do any substitution because this has a coefficient and this has a coefficient, so does that and so does that. That's going to make ugly fractions, or just fractions. That's why we're using elimination. And think of the word elimination. If something gets eliminated, it's gone. Substitute means it gets replaced. A player goes out, new player comes in. Teacher goes out, substitute teacher comes in. Eliminate, gone. So let's eliminate by adding, and notice I didn't give you a whole bunch of step-by-step instructions. You are going to put a plus sign out there and add down. Let me remind you how to add down. If I had the number 241 and I wanted to add the number 328, you start over here and go 1 plus 8 is 9. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. We're doing the exact same thing here, but instead of adding three numbers, you're adding numbers, you're adding three terms. These, and these. These are like terms. 11 plus 13 is 26. Maintain the equation by dropping your equal sign down, equals, equals, equals. 3 plus 5 is 8, but since those are y's, your 8 is also a y. Watch this. What's 2x plus negative 2x? Eliminated. It's gone. 0. Those cancel each other out. Now don't scribble all over them to get rid of them because you're going to need that in the second step. But look at this equation compared to what you did when you had substitution. Literally, that doesn't work. What are you going to tell me? 24. 13 and 11 is 24. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. And y equals 3. That's half of the problem. Now, the substitution part, once we did the plug-in, it was a little bit easier because you could just plug in a number and do the calculator. This is going to create a little bit of algebra. Now that you know that the y is equal to 3, you're going to have to take that 3 and plug it in to that y. That y becomes a 3. So our new equation to try to find x is 2x plus 3 times 3, which is 9, equals 11. Still, this is nicer and easier than substitution was for you because it's only a two-step problem. Minus 9 from both sides, minus 9. That's just a reminder to plug it in. 2x equals 2, and when you divide by 2, x equals 1. Final answer, put the x first and then the y. Don't just put the number you found first. It always has to go x comma y. All right, let's try another one. I know already some of you like elimination better. There's a couple extra steps that you haven't learned yet in elimination, but I'll get them to you. Go ahead, make sure it's all set up. There's the x's, there's the y's, there's the numbers. Underline it and add it. 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2. Let's see if I can add right this time. Negative 3 plus 3. Eliminated. It's gone. 4x minus 2x is 2x. You did something wrong if you still have a y sitting here. Or in the other one if you still had an x. It should just be a one-step solving problem once you get to here. X equals negative 1. Take that negative 1, plug it in for the x this time. Why am I plugging it in for an x? Because that's what it says. X is negative 1. Negative 1. So my new equation is 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4, minus 3y equals 5. Let's solve that. Add 4 to both sides. Excuse me. Negative 3y equals 9. And when you divide that by negative 3, you find out that y equals negative 3. Final answer, put your x first, then your y, and there you have it. Write this down and then see if you can tell what the issue is here. Write this down, see if you can tell what the issue is here. Do not add down yet. If you try to add down, we're going to have 54, 4y, and 15x. We don't want 15x and 4y and 54. That doesn't help us. We still have x's and y's. So there's an easy fix. It's not so bad. We're going to take this equation, multiply the whole thing by negative 1. And you can choose, do you want to change this whole equation to negative 1? Or do you want to change this whole equation by negative 1? Either way, it'll still work. I'm going to change the top one. Multiply by negative 1. That gives you negative 7x minus 2y. See what we did there? Plus minus. Don't forget this one. Equals negative 24. Now you can add down. 30 plus negative 24 is 6. 2y plus negative 2y is gone. 8x minus 7x, or plus a negative 7x, is 1x. And because that's 1x, you're already done. You know that x equals 6. Let's find y. Your choice. You can plug the 6 into this original x, or this original x, or the new x. Doesn't matter. I'm going to plug it right in here to the 8 just to show you, or with the 8 just to show you that it doesn't matter which one you use. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus 2y equals 30. Minus 48 from both sides. Y equals negative 18. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 9. I know that was really fast. Just slow down. Pause the tape. X equals 6. Y equals negative 9. There it is. And then the last example is a be careful example. This one was kind of more of a what if it's not both plus, or 1 plus and 1 minus. This is a be careful. It looks good, other than your 12 and 6 are lined up, your equals are lined up, but your x's and your y's are not lined up. They're on the same side of the equation. So just take this guy and that guy and switch places with them. Let's put the negative 4x first. Please make sure you take the negative with it. That belongs to the 4. The 5 is positive, so we're going to go plus 5y equals 6. Scribble that out. We don't need it anymore. It was bad. It wasn't in order. We got to get it all lined up. You're going to want to try to add down, but you don't want to add down yet because you have a plus and a plus. Change your signs. Why is that blinking like that? Change your signs. Multiply the whole equation by negative 1. Maybe I'm going to do this one again. Doesn't matter which one you do. Negative 2x minus 5y equals negative 12. Add down. 6 and negative 12 is negative 6. Equals, equals, equals. 5y, negative 5y, eliminated. Negative 4 and negative 2, negative 6x. Divide by negative 6 carefully, because negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1. Take that 1 and plug it in. Do you want to plug it into this x? Do you want to plug it into this x? Do you want to plug it into this x? I don't care. You could try it all 3 times and see what you get. I'm going to take this 1 and plug it in up here just to the first x. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 5y equals 12. Minus 2 from both sides. You get 5y equals 10. Divide by 5 and y equals 2. Final answer, 1 and 2. And let me remind you about those final answers, because without graphing these, we're actually solving a graphing problem. We're graphing one line, and we're graphing another line, and we're finding out that the 2 lines cross at over 1 up 2. We're not graphing it every time, but we still are finding the answer. That's what you need to be able to do for elimination. Again, the problems take a little bit longer because you're trying to find x and y, but you'll have less problems to do on your assignment. So good luck with it.